No, what that mean?
Shadow work means just like how you said in the beginning, focusing on you. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Oh, in
And
the
like,
shadows, nobody
yeah,
can see.
like
Gotcha.
your shadow work. Like, why am I upset when that person said, I don't like people that think they're better than people. And then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden I'm like, well, I hope you're not talking about me because I don't think, you know what I'm saying? You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? So,
yeah.
the shadow work is figuring out why you respond the way you respond, why you react the way you react to certain people's
Mm,
words. See, but the thing
mm.
about that is like, I believe that yes, there's shadow work that needs to be done, but I also believe that there's some folk that do shit that's straight up wrong and I ain't done nothing and I ain't got nothing to do with it.
And look, and this is here. And the one thing I want to say real quick about the whole family thing, what we need to realize too, is sometimes you can have a family member that you don't like. Like you guys are blood, but nothing about you creates a commonality. So I think what people need to stop doing is putting family on it like that gives you a lot of cachet, so to speak. Relationships have to be built.
Yeah.
Family, no family. You have to build a relationship with somebody, which starts with a commonality, which starts with communication, which starts with being around them. Family, I got family members that I'm not around a lot that I love. If you really want to get to know somebody,
Hmm.
anybody, you got
Hmm.
to be around them. A
Yeah.
lot of times, a little bit of time, you got to be around them to get to know somebody. And sometimes we have family members who, through trial and tribulations or whatever, we don't like their ass. We'd rather be around other people. So I have men in my life that I'm closer to than family members, like men that are family members. And that's no knock on them. It's strictly based on the fact that I spend time with these men and I have a commonality. We have something in common. We have a likeness. We use that to build a bond. That's what this shit has to be about. I'm tired of seeing, because my family has a funeral home in Sacramento. I'm tired of seeing families at funerals who always talk about the fact that, damn, we never get together. When they get on the mic and talk, I can guarantee one person to say, we got to stop meeting like this, y'all. We got to
Wow.
stop meeting like this. We always meeting at funerals.
Speak,
Auntie
Harry.
Martha used to bring us together. Boom, 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 boom. And all this shit is based on the commonality with humans. Like, if you want to build a relationship with anybody, you have to talk to them. You have to attempt to be around them. But that's the only way a relationship is going to be built. Family, I don't give a fuck if it's brother, cousin, mama, daddy. Pick the name of the family member. If you're not around them, if you're not talking to them, if you're not communicating with them, you're gonna grow further and further apart. You
Guess how?
see?
Guess what? Everything you said is correct, right? It doesn't matter how close you grew up. It doesn't matter if you guys grew up like thick as thieves, so called. If you don't intentionally do the work, like you said, get to know them as they grow. We go through these stages in life. You
Mm-hmm.
have your infancy, and then I can't think of the next one, but uh, this man, he
Adolescence.
no, what's his name? It starts with an F. He
Oh,
created all this stuff, but you go through infancy and then adolescence and then
yeah, yeah.
adulthood and then teens and then
Mm-hmm.
Floyd, I think is his last. You don't know who I'm talking about? I'll try to write that
Uh,
down in my notes to remember his name,
I
but
think
Sigmund Floyd or something like
Sigmund
that.
Freud.
He talks
Yep,
about
Sigmund Freud.
yeah, he talks about the stages of life. The
Mm-hmm.
whole point that I brought that up with is that you have to continue to like. You can't just be together as infants, together as toddlers, together as 5 or 6 years old, whatever he labeled that
Mm-hmm.
as, together as 11 to 14, together as 15, 17, and then all of a sudden you're 27, you're supposed to be close. You're correct. You have to pour water into that. You have to get to stay
Has to
together.
grow.
You have to put in the work. You have to do it intentionally, and you have to do it unconditionally.
Yes, and
and
then
and,
some
and
people
then the
grow apart.
communicate. There should be no reason for a family that grew up together to not be close and be holding grudges. Communication is key, forgiveness is key, and love is key. And I know you guys think, oh, that sounds so goddamn corny, but that is the truth.
Definitely, definitely. You definitely should write,
It is
Shereen.
what it is.
And the main point of this show, everybody, is just to realize that we are doing damage to each other. You know what I mean? Like, you want to go out and fight for like this all black people and fight in, like, in the face of racism, in the face of poverty, in the face of all these goddamn devils we got attacking us, man, if you're not dealing with your family, if you're not coming to a resolution, you don't have to like anybody in your family, but you got to come to a resolution of why, like what's going on. You see what I'm saying? How was we raised? Why are we not getting together and talk about the fucked up shit we had to go through as kids and how we created resolve from that? Like I keep talking about this, but about 4 months ago, maybe, me and the men in my family, like my brother that is home and my cousins, we all got together and had a conversation as men. Like no alcohol, no food, no celebration to it. You know, sometimes niggas got to get together and celebrate and cut a jig. God damn it. Sometimes you ain't got to do that. Well, I think we had some food, but that wasn't the focus. The focus was the conversation. We just sat there and we talked and we talked and we talked and we poured into each other. And it was like, damn, some of these dudes, I've never even heard them express that side of themselves. I was able to talk about how I felt. You see what I'm saying? So this was a powerful situation for my family, and I think everybody should try to do versions of this where you realize there are dysfunctional behavior amongst us and we have a problem. It don't have to define who we are going forward, but we got to address it in a particular way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and try to, I concur, and try to accept each person for who they are and meet them where they are. Now, there's some people who it's almost, I don't want to say it, but it's almost impossible because maybe the mental illness is just too severe.
Definitely. No, you're right. You're right. And you know what I mean? And that's, huh?
Do you want to move on to that last little part, or do you?
Real quick, just before we finish, y'all. And that was a good topic. Everybody, like dealing with the fact that we have.
Give them another recap. We were talking about toxicity in Black families.
Yes, how to prevent being toxic in a Black family. Like what are the things we go through?
What are the things we go through? The trauma, the post-traumatic stress slave syndrome. We talked about not communicating, how if we could sit here and be talking about Black love, we should be loving our family. We talked about all of that. Okay.
Yeah. How that negatively affects all of us. And it's still affecting us. That's why all these conversations are important, because my platform is it's based on racism. It's based on like dealing with what these motherfuckers do to us, all this, but we got to deal with how we treat each other, y'all. We look at the news. I ain't got to talk about it. We look at the news, how we shooting each other, how we doing different things. A lot of this is based on historical negligence, based on the system that we live in, but we got to address this. Last thing we're going to address real quick.
Let's take accountability, because we know that's what it is. Let's do the work. Let's get ourselves back in order. Life is really, truly short, and it's not worth being mad because someone forgot to pay you this or someone said this. We have all hurt each other in one way or another, and the key is to come together, resolve the issue, and be one.
Definitely. Now, last thing I'm going to talk about. I seen a Instagram clip of a brother who was bringing McDonald's to his baby mother's house for his son. I'm assuming it was a son. It could have been a daughter, but he was bringing food to his baby mama's house for his son. The woman, his baby mama, had multiple kids. I don't know if it was just one extra kid in the house, two extra kids in the house.
I know exactly. She has 4 kids total, including his kid.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
We need to talk about this because that was interesting to me, right? If you have kids in your house as a woman, and let's say you got 2 baby daddies.